Campy asks, as we're talking about the beautiful Oh the Places You'll Go video that Teddy Saunders made with his crew, and that has gone viral and has over 700,000 views. Are you concerned that as more and more non-burners become aware of Burning Man, there's a possibility of a huge influx of virgins and how that will affect the event? And there's a part of me that was like, oh man, wouldn't it have been great if you would have waited 2 weeks to release this video after the initial ticketing window was over? Because there's already people that are so panicked about getting their tickets. It's kind of crazy timing. This video has blown up right when they just opened the ticketing yesterday. So now we have a 2-week period to put our registration in and say, we want tickets, here's our money, and then they'll do the lottery system. A few comments on that. First, I'm amazed how many people are complaining about the lottery system before it's even broken. Just feeling like you don't like it. And, it's kind of like, I don't like change. It's almost like saying that, like, it's different and I don't like that. When you're a little kid and you go, try it. I think you're going to like this food. And they're like, no! I like my sandwiches cut in triangles. Now, could this lottery system cause a lot of hardship and cause people to be frustrated and not get their tickets? It might. But that hasn't happened yet. So far, everybody that's wanted a ticket has gotten one. So far, there is no reason for pain and suffering. There's only the belief in the story that I'm going to have this pain in the future, and therefore I'm experiencing it now. It's the Julius Caesar line from Shakespeare. A coward dies 1,000 deaths, and a hero dies but one. If you are frustrated, mad, pain, suffering because of this, the ticket situation, and it sucks and it's not working, it's like, well, dude, you haven't even faced the enemy yet. You haven't even had your battle yet. And you're already licking your wounds and complaining about your injuries. Be a hero. Let's deal with the pain when it happens. If there's something you can do in advance, for example, register, do it. If there's something you can do in advance, for example, submit alternate ideas to the organization, do it. But being just angry doesn't do anything. Especially when nothing's wrong yet. Now, the influx of new people as the popularity happens, that is, the history of Burning Man has been, kind of press surges. There was the Wired article years ago, and then there was a bunch of people that came, and it was growing, and then there was a couple years of terrible weather, and then, it kind of stabled up, and then it went back up again, and as like Facebook really kicked up the numbers, because it's one thing to know a guy who knew a guy who went to Burning Man. It's another thing to be like, oh my gosh, look at these pictures coming through my feed of a buddy of mine's friend who just came from this place that looks like Mad Max went to, So, a video that goes viral that shows Burning Man in such a beautiful light, yeah, it's going to bring in a lot of new people. But Burning Man is radically inclusive. That is one of the principles. It is radically inclusive. That principle could be at odds with a system that has finite numbers and not everyone can participate in. But it is not something that is to be protected and enjoyed by those that deserve it most. It is open to anyone that is able to experience it. With the pressures of numbers and of limited resources and space, we have to find some way to fairly allow only some of the people that want to go in. The challenges are scalpers and this flood of new people. The flood of new people isn't actually a problem. And the other thing to remember is that evolution only happens when there is trauma and struggle. So whatever is going to happen next, whatever events are going to be created, whatever regional outbursts are going to sprout, the magical thing that happens next could happen because of the pressure of the existing Burning Man not being able to contain the energy that it has created. One of the things that I experienced last year, because last year was the first year that it ever sold out. Granted, it didn't sell out until 2 months before the event, so everyone still had 6 months or whatever to buy their tickets if they were planning on going, and then it sold out. But knowing that it sold out, my experience with people who are new was they had a reverence. They had an understanding of how precious this experience was and this opportunity. And so the first timers that I met last year were more enthusiastic than I remember first timers being generally. More appreciative and more like, look, I am lucky to be here. I am lucky to be a part of this, which, I think at some level everybody has that perspective, but maybe, it takes a while to really get that. So it's impossible to know what the outcome of the current situation is. It will be different this year than it was last year and the year before. And just as every year people say it was better, it was better, it was better, well, that's a crummy way to live, Burning Man is a duocracy. Anything that was better before is something that we're responsible for fixing in the future, even if that means creating another event. So I'm hopeful. I'm excited. I'm eager for the opportunity to gift to new people, to connect with people who have not been lit up. Let me finish with this. I actually really love the fact that more and more new people are being exposed to this energy. I am the person I am in many regards because of what Burning Man woke up in me. Now, imagine if that waking up experience could happen in powerful people around the world. Imagine Mr. Gates and the Rockefeller family sees this video and says, wow, I need to experience this. Now, they go with the intention of, I'll check it out. But once you're submerged in it, you have no choice but to be affected by the gifting, by the connection, by the eye-opening, whoa, there's things that matter in this world that I have not been paying attention to. So here's my ticket. I am going to try to get some extra tickets, and then I'm going to sell them for more than I paid for them. You heard me. It's blasphemy in the burner world, but here's the thing. I'm going to sell them for $1 million each, with the intention that I want these to be purchased by someone who can spend $1 million without thinking about it. Because if that defines you, you are in a position that can change the world in a dramatic way. You have resources. And I would like you to see this, experience this. I would like to facilitate your awakening to this awareness so that you can use your resources potentially in a way that I think is more in alignment. So if you know somebody who's got $1 million to spare and could use some waking up, let them know that I got what they need. I will see you on the playa, or online, or in an online dialogue about how everything is unfair. It is all perfect. These windstorms of life will eventually calm down, and all that is amazing and beautiful will be what remains. I hope I see you at home.
You only live once. Enjoy the color.